Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Okay, we are looking at a number of different big events going on right now. The Deck of Fate has just dropped. I'm going to go through some of the details of that. We've also just seen a champion chase coming in for the weekend where the #1 prize, first place, will win Hansel Witch Hunter. I'm assuming this is first place per tournament, so something like a 1 in 100 is going to pick this up. I'm hoping it's not first place globally, which they've done in the past, but I can't imagine that Hansel's good enough to warrant that. This really comes down to, one, are you already doing Gretel and want that combo? Because the combo is decent, individually both kind of average. I think even the combo is not that crazy, honestly, because the multipliers just were not good enough. But still, if it's only really worth your effort if you are doing the combo. But then obviously, it totally depends who else you've got in your group. Like this weekend, there is a 2 times chance on Void Shards, and there's also going to be a 10 times chance on a pretty high priority Void Legendary, which is Iaso here, who honestly is kind of nuts. He's up there as one of the best damage dealers for Hydra, even after these nerfs. He's worse after the nerfs, but he's still one of the best. And you know, if you take Trundra out of the mix, he's up there. So definitely, you know, people that are really trying to push their accounts or that have saved a lot of Void Shards, they might go quite deep for this guy. I might go pretty deep on a 2 times Void weekend anyway. You know, that's just something which I would normally do because I want to pull Void Shards where there's a 2 times on, you know. So just bear that in mind. I've got 170 in the bank. That's the type of numbers you might be up against. And it's pot luck. Do you get me in your group? Do you get someone who actually pulls 1,000 in your group? Or do you get the group where, I don't know, the maximum someone's pulling is like 20 or 30? But it's definitely not going to be an event for everyone. It's mainly an event for people that have got a lot of resources saved or that are spenders. And I don't really care about this champ, personally. Like it's not someone that I'm fussed about. So just bear that in mind. Yeah. The other thing then, this Deck of Fate. So we have got the ability to get the cards through gaining artifacts and accessories or upgraded champs. So it is just one of these ones. Do you want to burn tons of energy on this? I kind of like it personally that I can just do this on my daily energy stacks and earn a decent amount of the rewards. Not loads, but a decent amount. And the rewards are pretty cool. Again, it's not anything like sexy like champions and stuff, but it's pinpoint gear, which is totally unavailable unless, well, right now it's totally unavailable. Like we had a decent run of it in the Odin dungeon, but there are artifacts, which are anything that's got the kind of logo on it. You see we've got like, what's it, 6 epic, 3 legendary, 3 mythical. So not a load, but they're the artifacts. And then you've also got the accessories, which I think it's the same numbers. No, it's 6 on the epics. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the legendaries, and then 3 on the mythicals. So a decent amount of pinpoint gear if you did the full lot, the full 40 cards. The other thing I'm interested in actually is whether they're doing that kind of like lock thing. If you get, in fact, I'll do it in this video. I'll check it out. If you're able to lock a reward, because that makes this way more worthwhile. Like if you're able to pull an epic and then lock epic and guarantee yourself one of these epic rewards, that makes it way more attractive, I would say. Does it say here, if you flip over 3, you get the reward. Like always, the higher the rarity of flip cards, the more valuable. Each fate chest contains 1. Doesn't say here if you can lock or not. So we've had events where it just replaces, and we've had events where it locks. The lock ones are way, way better. So what's the best way to do this? It's pretty much burning energy in campaign. We get around, what, 1,200-1,300 energy a day if you let it refill and do all of the different things throughout the game, which can earn you energy, like, you know, completing your arena stuff, like doing the advanced quests, all of that stuff. You end up and letting it refill over the day. You end up getting about 1,200-1,300 energy. So over 4 days through the Deck of Fate, you can get yourself something like 5k energy if you used it efficiently, if you want to do that. Also, you can obviously burn gems to do more. But you're going to be looking at, Saf did run some numbers, and his numbers were looking like, Let me just see here. Obviously, there's different like boosts that you can do, right? So you can have things like the raid pass going on, the XP boost going on, and then potentially the boost you get from the Forge Pass, which is significant. Like if you did all of them, that's 50% more. I currently have not bought the Forge Pass. I'm not that fussed about instinct gear personally. It's not bad, but I'm just, it's not one of the ones that I use a ton. Even though I will say it's gained value because stuff like Live Arena, most people now run fast nukers. So the speed plus ignoring defense is actually better than it ever was. But yeah, if you were to buy, the full gold pass and get yourself the extra 50% energy, sorry, not energy, experience boost, that's significant in this type of stuff. So what's going on? Looks like you would need, if you were running like 12-3 brutal and you wanted to max out the whole event, then it looks like you're going to need something like 18k energy. So about 4 times what we'd normally get on a day-to-day. And then if you're being more efficient and you're going into Nightmare 12-6, it's now way more accessible to farm Nightmare 12-6, by the way, with empowerment and all the stat creep that's gone on in the game. Really, it's a way more accessible place to be than it ever was. And again, like if you're maxing out efficiency, then you're going to be about 15 to 16k energy to get that done. I've done a number of videos where I kind of like call out how to be efficient with this stuff, whether it's in the tavern, making sure that your food champions, let's assume this was a food champion, making sure that, let's go from 3-star. From a 3-star, you're putting 2 brews into them before you feed them. I'm not saying you necessarily would feed rares. I do feed rares, but even if it's like the common folk, you want to make sure that you're putting brews into them before they're fed. So, for example, I could go 2 brews into my 3-star guys, and then grab the one I'm actually going to be leveling out. You're still doing the equivalent of this, by the way, in campaign. I'm just showing you the fast route in the tavern. And then feeding these food champions that I've put levels into, making this one into a 4-star. But this is still food, so I'm going to put 4 brews into this guy. And this is how you get your fossil coins or whatever, the tournament points you need relatively quickly. But it's still a grind. Like, getting to the point where you can flip 40 cards, that's me doing this a lot. I wish I could select every rare and just say, yeah, give them all 2 brews, please, raid. And the equivalent of doing it in campaign. So, do I have someone set up to farm Nightmare right now? Not sure I do. Fortress used to be the one, but I don't know if I've got him geared well anymore. But let's assume that this works. Let's hope this works. So yeah, you were doing the equivalent in here in campaign to what I've just shown you in the tavern there. So I think Fortress is still strong enough by the looks of these numbers. This is Fortress's time to shine. And if you can do it in a reasonable time like this, 12 seconds, then, you get yourself a lot of points in here. But really, if you're going to do it this way, I would just say get RSL Helper on board. And RSL Helper is a great tool to do this, because what you can do in RSL Helper, I actually don't use it. I've not used it in ages, but you can tell RSL Helper to stop running campaign with those champs when you hit a certain level threshold. And that's where it becomes really strong, because, you could say at level 15, for example, or let's see what we get to after 2 runs here. It would sell all this crap off as well, which obviously I could do if I'm doing multi-battles. But yeah, you'd be like, right, after 2 runs, stop fighting with rares, for example. And then it would automatically filter them out for you and put like the next group in. Which unfortunately in multi-battle you can't do. In multi-battle I can set it up. I can set up my queue and say, right, max all of these people out. And it will do that. Which is not a bad thing, because you don't have to max some out anyway for the tavern to then like make up to the next level. But, that's one way of getting the job done. And obviously then you can just say sell all, which again is just going to speed up your life. But RSL Helper just does it in a way more efficient way. But obviously there's 2 things here. So if you're doing it in campaign, you're getting the levels you want, but you're also getting artifacts, which gives you a few more points along the way as well. So look, I don't know, some pretty interesting events going on, but I'd say nothing like you must do this for your raid life. I think all high level players are going to do the pinpoint stuff. It's good. It's some of the best gear sets, honestly, in terms of the quality of gear for someone who puts debuffs out. Pinpoint's basically the best set in the game, maybe with the exception of Feral. So Pinpoint is giving you speed, accuracy, and intercept stacks. So you're not going to be taking debuffs like stuns or freezes and that type of thing. Feral is kind of like the other really strong one, which obviously we're getting from Siege if you're active in Siege. Feral's interesting because it's blocking polymorph, and then if you get 9 pieces, it's giving you more damage. So I think these two sets for anyone who's landing debuffs out there are kind of both nuts. They power creep, you know, perception and accuracy gear by a mile. So anyway, look, enjoy it. Go for it if you're going to go for it, and I will see you in the next one.